रेकी वन नाबू हमारा नाम है विनोद लाल फैंटम रेडियो फीजी 2 हम लोग बहुत लाइक करता हुआ ये सुनता है
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Yandavanaka and good morning Fiji. In this bulletin, Health Ministry refuses to rule out more cases. Economy Minister reveals union rep payments. And the world unites in mourning the Black Panther.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
There is a possibility that more medical professionals could test positive for COVID-19 in the near future. This was highlighted by Acting Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong after announcing Fiji's 11th COVID-19 border quarantine case, a 25-year-old nurse. Dr. Fong says the woman contracted the coronavirus while treating one of the border quarantine cases in an isolation unit and is recovering well. He adds that even when every protocol is followed and protective personal gear is employed properly, this unpredictable virus can still be transmitted. Despite more than 3,000 patients held within our quarantine facilities, this is the first positive case confirmed among staff working in the isolation facilities.
Our medical staffs work these facilities, they go through a roster system, whereby they work and live in the facility for 14 days, then go into quarantine in one of our government-designated quarantine facility for 14 days. They must then register another negative COVID test before they can rejoin their family. This is the most stringent system of isolation unit management in the world, more rigorous than both Australia and New Zealand.
Minister for Economy Ayaside Kayum has once again said that union reps who used to sit on the FNPF board of the past were earning big money. Speaking in Parliament yesterday and responding to calls to have union members on the board of FNPF, he said there was a lot left to be desired of the past union reps.
The Honourable Tambuya, who talks about these union members who should be present, they were actually present when the law did stipulate we needed employee reps. They were picking up $150,000, $180,000 a year in directors' fees. They would sit in our board, subcommittee, they'd get paid allowance, same day, 3-4 allowances. They had thousands of dollars of telephone bills jacked up because they changed the rep now, she says. So now it's been individualized.
The call from opposition member Salote Randronro to close our sea borders has been labelled short-sighted, silly and ignorant by government. Randronro in Parliament claimed that government is using COVID-19 as an excuse to allow the continuation of the Blue Lane initiative by having international yachts come into Fiji. She also claims this will bring about the possibility of illegal drug trade. Attorney General Ayaside Kayum says the drug problem existed previously and Fiji is working with Australia and New Zealand to curb such crime.
If the 100 bars of cocaine had been found in the beaches of our maritime islands, then what kind of responsible government would have such initiative like that?
It's something that we need to work with, and our borders are secure from that perspective. We have these yachts that do come in, very closely monitored because, in fact, of the quarantine requirements by our disciplined forces.
Attorney General Ayaside Kayum has hit out at National Federation Party leader Professor Biman Prasad for making personal attacks. The opposition MP, while speaking in Parliament, claimed that Said Kayum was involved in another party before he joined Fiji First. The AG says personal attacks as such add nothing to the national debate.
Honourable Attorney General, Mr. Speaker, has his own political past. You know, he was in another party, then, you know, then he came. He was a legal advisor. He actually, Mr. Speaker, he joined Peter Foster, the courtman, you know, in the New Labour Party, you know. So let's not go back 20 years. Let's deal with what's in front of us.
That's just been his trait since 2014, that he reacts to things on a personal matter or on a personal basis when he's on soft ground. And unfortunately, he does not have the appetite nor the gumption to actually say sometimes that, you know, what government is saying is actually correct, or in fact that, yes, I may be wrong.
The Education Ministry has asked Ratakandavu Level School Principal Arvind Prasad to respond to the allegations levelled against him by the RKS Student Council. This was confirmed to FBC News by Education Minister ROSY AKBAR after receiving the grievances report by the Council against Prasad yesterday. Sanyani Mboila reports some claims include the abolishment of morning devotion, the removal of extracurricular activities and the reduction of school roll, to name a few.
The Education Minister says the team that was sent to RKS is working to finalize their findings regarding the issue.
The team is trying to ascertain the validity of the claims. Okay? And like I said, we don't sweep things under the carpet. We will hear this side of the story as well, and we'll hear the administration side of the story as well. And then we can come to a conclusive decision as to what's the way forward for the schools, because we really want students to return to their classes.
RKS All Boys President Alivereti Yaya confirmed to FBC News that they support the move by the students and will ensure that their voices are heard. RKS All Boys Sireli Temo says closing the school was not the right solution, as the issue needs to be addressed in the presence of both parties.
Taking away a few things like culture and religion away from an institution like RKS is almost taking the soul away from the school. Why? Because that institution, like one or two others, has steeped in the traditional way, and that is the value that these people bring out to this country when they come out. So from a student, I value those the same as the students are doing today.
At the moment, the situation remains the same. The students are at home with their parents, and so hopefully we're able to sort it out this week.
Claims made by the council against the principal include the use of loose and expired meats in meals, the removal of extracurricular activities, and the removal of the Sabunibalu competition, to name a few. The school is currently closed for a week as the ministry works to address the issue. Sanyani Mboila, FBC News.
The Ministry of Education says there have been attempts to abuse the bus fare assistance meant for students. Minister ROSY AKBAR highlighted in Parliament that people are going as far as painting their bus cards to look like student cards. AKBAR says measures have been taken to protect funds meant to assist children from low-income families, but there have also been incidents of students using their blue e-ticketing cards to play truant or for non-school travel.
We have also found out that many parents and adults try to cheat the system by using the blue cards themselves during school hours, when these cards are meant to help students from low-income families to travel to school. We've even found adults painting the blue cards red to cheat the system.
And turning overseas, it's been 4 days since his death, but tributes continue to pour in for Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman. The 43-year-old died after a secret battle with colon cancer, something which even some of his closest colleagues didn't know about. Up ahead, Bieber impressed with rookies, and Rewa out to maintain lead.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Fiji Sevens head coach Gareth Bieber is amazed at how fast the young players have picked up in the Skipper Cup competition. Bieber says the rookies in the competition have really learned quickly and are starting to make their mark as 19, 20 and 21-year-olds. The national coach, who is monitoring the Fiji Sevens players in the Skipper Cup, adds some young players have stood out in the last 6 rounds.
But I know there's lots of young players playing in many teams, and I think that it's one avenue of development. It's not to say young players are always there and ready to go, but certainly in my experience, the ability to get them physically where they need to by the age of 21, 22, with the drive and ambition that they need to succeed, and obviously the mental capabilities to play at this level and above is exactly what we're looking for.
The Fiji National Rugby League will take stringent action against indiscipline on and off the field and those who promote violence. This follows the brawl that broke out between the Makoi Bulldogs and the Burinitu Cowboys, which is alleged to have been started by a coach of one of the teams. Fiji Mbati head coach Joe Rambele says those involved will be charged accordingly to avoid any reoccurrence of similar incidents in the near future.
Some players will get 6 weeks, some will get 9 weeks, some of them will get 8 weeks. So, like we try to take measures like to prevent the game from this kind of role or situation.
The goal doesn't change for Rio football as they look to further their lead on the Vodafone Premier League standings. For this to happen, head coach Marika Rondu says it's a must-win for them this Sunday when they take on Asinu at Ratudakambao Park in Nausori. However, the Delta Tigers coach adds the side will first need to get the basics right if they seek to take the 3 points.
It's attitude that we need to change. We can't allow it to become permanent or to reoccur. So we'll continue to talk about this. We will readdress our defensive work.
Sonny Bill Williams is racing to be fit in time for his long-awaited Roosters return 6 years after his last NRL match. The Kiwi hasn't trained ahead of Saturday's grand final rematch with the Raiders. Quick look at the weather map for today. It is Wednesday, the 2nd of September. A weak trough of low pressure remains slow moving over the group. Associated cloud and showers is expected to affect the eastern parts of the country till later tomorrow. And that is your FBC Morning News. Join us at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. Remember, in times of crisis, you need factual news that you can trust. Stop believing fake news about the COVID-19 on social media. Fight misinformation by getting only the facts about the coronavirus from verified news sources like FBC's TV, radio and digital media news. www.fbcnews.com.fj, keeping Fijians connected with the truth.
Nada go merere te lawa, go ngai tabua, ando talita kana vararonga na Radio Fiji 1 nando mai viti.
Radio Fiji 1 nando mai viti.